So in the military, everything is an acronym, and it's sometimes you can just get lost in the conversation because there's so much that when you're in these group settings and everyone's talking, and it's completely foreign to you. Well, I guess I'll start with my name. My name is Keri Davis, and I've been, I guess, a resident of St. Mary's County since about 2006. I was born in California, and my dad was in the Navy, so we moved around a lot. I lived many different places, and he retired here in Maryland, so I've kind of been here ever since, and met my husband here and started my life here. And let's see, married 27 years and have 2 children, both in college, pretty active in my church. And so as far as my professional life, I actually work as a contractor at Pax River. And I've only been doing that for 3 years. So I sort of made a career change sort of later in life. And before that, I actually worked in the legal profession for about 30 years. So, well, I didn't get a college degree. I actually started out working part-time while I was going to school, and my career counselor kind of thought I was really suited for just law firm practice. And so I went, interned there, and I just fell in love with it. And I started, and then I was taking paralegal courses. Just life kind of got pretty crazy for me at that time, and my education just kind of fell to the wayside. And I mean, thankfully, I think because of my work ethic and just attitude and, all of those other things that are important, makes you a good employee. I was able to kind of move up in my position. And, it's kind of been a regret for me later in life that I didn't pursue a degree, because I really enjoyed school. I mean, when I did go to college, I really liked it, but it's just my commitments got so big, and I just couldn't make it happen. So if I did go, but it certainly hasn't held me back. And but I, with my kids, I'm really pushing for that, because I know, these days you can't just have experience and get right into a job as easily without a college degree. I mean, that's unfortunately like a golden ticket to get you in. But what's helped me is just my reputation, and people have sought me out. In fact, this job that I'm doing now was someone that had been begging me to come work for them. So I decided to just make the leap and make the change and do something different. So, well, I think my career chose me basically because, the counselor saw that I think I enjoy writing. I really enjoy writing, and a lot of working in a law firm is just heavy on your ability to be able to write effectively. And I did a lot of, I did legal briefs and contracts, and just anything I could get my hands on that had a writing component to it was my happy place for sure. So, and I just enjoyed it so much that I just continued on with it. Like I said, I did it for 30 years. So, and it really worked out for me, because this is probably another question you're going to ask, but how it affected my family life. I was able to work at a small firm that was about 10 minutes from my house. So I could go in, basically like my seatbelt light went off by the time I got to the office. So it was really great. I didn't have a long commute. I could spend all that time in the morning with my kids, and then get them where they needed to be. And then my mom would pick them up in the afternoon. So, and I could come home on my lunch break. So really it felt like it was the best of both worlds because I could do something that I love to do, but still be, connected and there for my family. So, oh, definitely the writing. I would say the writing and just I got to interact a lot with clients and different government agencies and just met a lot of people. And I also did, later on in that position, I started doing estate planning. And, big part of my faith came into play with that because it's people who lost someone in their life. And I get to help them probate their estate and sort of just be someone that they could lean on through that process because that can be very hard for people. So I enjoyed that as well. So probably just the people and the work. I loved all of it. There really wasn't anything negative, I would say, other than sometimes it was pretty fast paced and there was deadlines. So that could be hard sometimes. But if it's important to you, you get it done. Well, I guess because I probably speak to my current position, which is I'm a senior project analyst right now. And the hardest part of that job, I would say, is just coming in completely green, having no experience in Department of Defense work. But I also saw it as a challenge, and it was kind of exciting to just not know everything about everything. But that also can be difficult, because people have been, working for their entire career. So I kind of felt like I was a little bit behind, had some catching up to do, but, I got to give myself a break. You don't know what you don't know. But I would say just not knowing everything. That was hard for me to come from a place where I could run that whole office with my eyes closed and they completely trusted me. And it was a very small firm. So, you wore a lot of hats with the smaller firm. Whereas if I worked, in DC in a bigger setting, it would, you might have less responsibility, I guess. So, and then also another challenge I would say is just with COVID and remote working. And, that happened in my second year in that job. So thankfully I had time to, develop relationships. And as I can't imagine starting a job and not ever going physically into an office and talking to the people that you're working for and with. But it's evened out, and now teleworking is like just a part of what we do. And there's no connectivity issues, and we're all communicating, and there's different tools that you can use. So we'll kind of overcome that. So it's been good. Not too many complaints. Ooh, so the most rewarding part of my job is that on a small level, I feel like I'm supporting the warfighter. People are out there who are defending our country, and the program manager on my program, he always says, we're behind the pointy end of the spear, which is, I'm not holding the spear, but everything matters and everything that you do matters. And it's just, I've certainly felt a purpose in my other position, but this just feels grander because it's, supporting the military. So. Well, I guess I would answer for my new career. The challenges would be, I didn't have a clearance. So that takes a couple of months just to get that work through. And just not knowing. So in the military, everything is an acronym, and it's sometimes you can just get lost in the conversation because there's so much that when you're in these group settings and everyone's talking, and it's completely foreign to you, that can be a challenge. But I've been working recently on helping people kind of like with onboarding. So you have a new employee that comes in, and I've developed a lot of processes for my position and the program manager that I support based on my experience of coming in and not having a clearance, and because I went through it myself. So that's been a positive thing. Strong writing skills, I would say being very organized and on top of your deadlines, and keeping track of your schedule, just being able to communicate. Obviously, that's important as well. Let's see. I think just being flexible too is important, just because of the way we're doing business now, and patience. Integrity is important as well. So it's work balance is a struggle, I think, for all moms. And then there's always that slight element of guilt that you're not, you should be doing something that it's just a struggle. And because I had a lot of family support, that meant the world to me, because I felt like I could do both things. I could still work because I enjoyed it. Like I said before, I really enjoyed working. And I think it's a good lesson to show your kids that, you can do both. Not that if you didn't, it would be wrong. But I was just grateful that I had the opportunity to be able to do both. I think if I had chose a different location, and then that would. So I'll just tell you, Sarah, I worked with this one attorney who was just, she was basically imploding because there was just so much pressure, and it was so hard on her. And that was a big reason why I decided not to go back to school, because I think I would have enjoyed law school and just going the whole way. But I'm like, that was not my priority. And I think my family life would have suffered had I made that decision. So, you can find fulfillment in many other things in life, not just through working, and having a balance is really important. So, but also, like I said, having my family around to support, and my husband and my mom and my dad, and even if I got into a pickle, they were there to help me through it. So, so it's a challenge. You'll see one day, maybe. Well, I would say that my faith life affects my career. I would flip that, because everyone knows that I'm Catholic. I try to be authentic, and I can't tell you how many conversations I've had with the most unexpected people, because they know where my heart is, and they know that Christ is the center of my life. And this just drives a lot of the decisions, and in the way that I conduct myself, I think is important, just to be, a witness to my faith. And it's been, I know some people are persecuted for that. And I can honestly say that it's been just the most positive thing. There's nothing negative that's come out of that. And I know that can be a challenge sometimes in your working environment, to be able to just share that with people, but it's just been wonderful. A big blessing. Well, if you were looking to get into the legal profession, I would say, maybe in the summertime, see if you could get, some kind of an intern position, or just go in just to see what it's like. Very fast paced. Figure out what area of law interests you. Now I came into my Catholic faith late in life. But if I could go back in time, I might consider human rights. And there's just an element of your Catholic faith that you could bring to that. I actually wrote something down. So hey, I'm going to read something to you that I found. Where did I write? I wrote it somewhere. Hold on a second. So I went on this American Catholic Lawyers Association website, right? And it's the mission on there. Their mission statement is to defend religious liberty, right? And it says on their homepage, it says there's a need in every case for the assistance of God, who is the source of all reason and justice. I'm like, oh, that's so good. You know, I think that would just give you a lot of satisfaction to be able to serve and still do it with your faith. I mean, you can bring that to any position, but you know, if you're defending someone whose maybe religious liberties are being violated, and that would be, I think that would be really, really spectacular. So I maybe go online, look at resources there. But I think being in the environment, you get the most out of that situation because it's the real thing, and find a mentor maybe. So that would be my answer to that question.